the Paranormal Activity movies, and our horror queen, Catherine Newton, is in the fourth one. Let's do it. Paranormal Activity 4 opens up with a flashback reminding us of how Katie from the first couple movies killed her sister Christy and her husband Dan and stole their kid Hunter. That happened in California in 2006, and now we're 5 years later in 2011, and this one takes place in Nevada. So we meet a new family who consists of the teenage daughter Alex, Alex's younger brother Wyatt, and their parents Doug and Holly. And the movie tells us that Katie and Hunter's whereabouts are still unknown. One day the family's at Wyatt's soccer game and they notice this weird kid standing off to the sidelines just being a little fucking weirdo. Later on, Alex and her boyfriend Ben go up to Wyatt's playhouse and they find Robbie just in the dark just fucking sitting there. That's the weird kid's name, Robbie. Another night we see Alex filming outside because there's cop cars at the neighbor's house. It turns out the neighbor's house is Robbie and his mom, and there's an ambulance that takes his mother away. So the next day, Robbie comes over and Alex's mom, Holly, explains that he's going to be staying with them for a bit while his mom's in the hospital because he has no other family. And immediately upon this little weirdo arriving, weird shit starts happening in the house. So Alex has her boyfriend Ben set up these little hidden cameras everywhere and on everyone's computers. And similar to the previous movies, weird shit starts happening immediately. But it's not just supernatural, because one night they catch Robbie getting into bed with Alex while she's sleeping and just laying there with her and putting his hand on her shoulder. Wyatt and Robbie start talking about Robbie's friend that's following them around everywhere. Ben shows them this cool thing with one of their games where they can use night vision and all these tracking dots to see things. And we can see in the tracking dots something that looks like a figure standing next to Robbie at all times. Robbie's going downstairs at night and whispering to somebody that's not there. And then soon enough, Wyatt starts talking to this friend of Robbie's too. One day, Alex is home alone and she starts hearing banging downstairs, and when she gets down there, a chandelier falls and almost impales her. She tries to tell her parents that something supernatural is happening, but obviously they don't believe her. Another night, Alex is woken up by the sounds of cars outside, and when she looks, she sees a bunch of cars across the street at Robbie's house. And when she goes to investigate, she runs into this strange woman and runs back inside. And then soon after, Alex finds Robbie and Wyatt playing, but Robbie is drawing all these symbols on Wyatt. And one of those symbols includes this triangle with a circle in it that we've seen in the previous movies. And Alex, looking at other footage, sees that this symbol has shown up other places, like Robbie's drawn it in the sandbox or on the wall. So Alex Googles this symbol and she discovers that it is a symbol of fertility. And it's usually present in sacred rituals where a demon takes possession of a male host. And during that ritual, the host will be compelled to spill the blood of an innocent or somebody who's pure. One night, Holly the mom is cooking, and when she turns her back, her knife flies up, and later it falls, almost hitting her husband. But of course, they still don't believe Alex that some weird shit is happening in the house. And one day while Alex is babysitting, Robbie takes Wyatt and runs him across the street to his house. Alex goes across the street and into the house to find them, and when she does, she comes face to face with somebody that we know very well. Yup, sure enough, it's fucking Katie. So this is Robbie's mom. So upon seeing that she's home, Robbie ends up going back with her, so he's finally out of the house. But the damage is already done, because when Alex asks Wyatt about her, he says she wanted me and Robbie to be friends because we're both adopted. And Alex is like, how did she know you were adopted? And this is the first time we're finding out that Wyatt is adopted. And Wyatt says, she says my other family needs me back. And then that night, we see Wyatt talking to somebody that we cannot see. And he begins arguing with this thing, saying, my name is not Hunter, it's Wyatt. So this is fucking Hunter that was literally stolen by Katie from Christy. Weird shit continues to happen. One night, Robbie is almost drowned in the bathtub by an unseen force. Alex, while sleeping, just completely levitates above her bed. And after almost drowning, Wyatt starts to tell everybody that his name is Hunter. And then we see that Katie starts sneaking into the house and she tells Wyatt, I'll wait until you're ready. While Katie's in the house one night, Alex is locked in the garage by an unseen force and the car turns itself on. And Alex is almost killed by the exhaust and she has to get in the car and drive it through the garage door to escape. So the next day, Alex's dad is like, okay, you know what? That was scary. I'm finally ready to listen to you. Let's go out to dinner. And that leaves the mom, Holly, home alone. We see her in the living room be attacked by an unseen force where she is picked up into the air and dropped. And then Katie comes downstairs and drags away Holly's lifeless body. Then Ben comes over looking for Alex. And when he goes upstairs to her room and is on her computer, Katie shows up behind him and snaps his neck and he dies. The reason he came to the house was to inform Alex that he found more about the symbol and found that it belongs to a coven. But obviously died before he was able to tell her. So Alex and her dad come home completely unaware that any of this has happened, and as they're pulling in, they see Katie taking Wyatt into the house next door. So Alex runs into the house, Doug runs next door to go get his son, and that's when Alex discovers Ben's body. She is then dragged by an unseen force but manages to escape and runs across the street to the house. And when she gets in there, she sees her dad being dragged and thrown around by an unseen force. She runs into a bedroom where she's then attacked by Katie, but Alex manages to jump out a window. And when she does, she finds Wyatt just standing there, and she tries to drag him and is like, we need to go, but he's completely like catatonic. And when she turns around to run, she is confronted by this group of like hundreds of women, all wearing necklaces with that fucking symbol on it. And when she turns around to flee, Katie is behind her and attacks her. The camera drops and the movie ends.